I'm Harrison Graham. Let's dive into a Chicago Bears Now mailbag. First place Bears. Sounds good, doesn't it? Would you rather face Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph on Sunday? Yeah, we're filming this live on Monday, so depending on when you're watching this, maybe there's more clarity on this situation, but kind of mixed reporting right now. Sounds like he's got some kind of slight break or fracture in his non-throwing wrist. Rodgers this year has been, I would say, solid. Recently he hasn't played as well. The raw numbers look good, but not generating a ton of explosives. After DK Metcalf, they don't have a ton of high-end skill players. But I would say for what Pittsburgh was probably hoping for and what realistic expectations are for a 41-year quarterback, Aaron Rodgers has been solid. He's certainly been an upgrade over what they had in previous years with the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields situation last year, and obviously, the Mason Rudolphs, Big Ben's last year, Kenny Pickett. I would just say he's been solid, right? And then you have Mason Rudolph, who's kind of come and gone from Pittsburgh a couple of times. I thought he played really well in relief. Now, the Bengals defense is a train wreck, as we all know. But I still think you'd rather take your chances with Mason Rudolph. I would also love to beat Aaron Rodgers at Soldier Field. Again, I'm not going to shed a tear if he's out and the Bears beat up on Mason Rudolph, but there is a big part of me that's like, for the sentimental reasons, for just the history, I'd love Aaron Rodgers to play, and I'd love the Bears to beat him. Now, if they lost him, that would freaking suck. We all understand that, but I think I would still rather play Rodgers and have a chance to beat him. That would, when the schedule came out, I was like, that's one of the games I care about the most. Beat Aaron Rodgers at Soldier Field. Sayonara, enjoy retirement. But we'll see. We don't know if he's going to play or not. Which quarterback do you want to face? Type AR for Aaron Rodgers or MR for Mason Rudolph. Get your votes in the comment section. Okay, super chat from Marcus. Appreciate the 5. Under what scenario would you agree with going all in on Garrett Crosby this offseason? I mean, if you continue to play well, have a good season, win 11, 12 games or something like that, maybe get to the divisional round, and if you're like, man, we feel like we're a pass rusher away, second year in Ben Johnson's offense for Caleb Williams, young players ascending, I'd be open to it. Now, what is the cost? What does that mean for your draft capital? What money do you have to move around to make that possible? Those are all, scenarios and situations you'd have to explore, but if you're 11-6, win a playoff game, and that second game you're just getting no pass rush, and it's like, man, if you had a big time pass rusher, you could have gone further, then yeah, I think you explore those situations. They certainly explored them at the trade deadline, so I don't see why that would change in the offseason. Michael with another 5, appreciate it. Seeing Caleb mad at the end feels like he's going to come out strong next game. Yeah, I think that's been a little overblown. I've seen the camera pan to him after they won, and he kind of shook his head. I think it was one of those looks of God, it should not have come down to this. But if you saw him in the on-field interview with Cairo Santos, how excited he was, in the locker room with his teammates, I think people are making more of that. But I think to your point, it's I think the Bears, there has to be some feeling of man, as awesome as this is, as many games as they're winning, and that's what matters most. I think Caleb probably looks at that as God, if we were a couple plays away from just putting this game out of reach and not having to sweat this one out. That's kind of the next step, right? They're learning how to win. They are winning games. The next step is, can they put teams away when the opportunity is there to do so? And we'll see if they run into that situation anymore this year and if they are able to do just that. All right, more questions to come on this mailbag episode. But first, today's show is sponsored by Ethos. Life insurance is one of the most important investments you can make in your family. Now with Ethos, you can get covered and protected in minutes with rates as low as $2 per day, billed monthly. You can also get up to $3 million in total coverage. As a husband and a father, having life insurance is absolutely vital. It's something I do not take for granted. Ethos is revolutionizing the insurance industry with a 100% online process and can provide protection for you and your loved ones. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. Ethos has no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. Like I said, you'll get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. Ethos is a trustworthy company that disrupts the traditional life insurance industry, so check it out today. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos today. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times may vary. Rates may vary as well. That link is in the comments and description of this video to get started. Okay, Christ is King with the super chat. Appreciate it. If Jalen or Kyler return for Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, would Ben put C.J. Gardner-Johnson at safety or keep him at nickel? I would put him at safety and sub him around. Yeah, I don't know. He's played 100% of the snaps the last 2 weeks, so I don't think he goes from a full-time player to like some part-time player. Now, maybe he plays 80 or 85% of the snaps, but that's a guy I want on the field, man. Now, they've kind of moved him around. He's played a little safety. He's played a lot of nickel. He's played in the box, especially with TJ Edwards out. I think that factors in too because CJ Gardner-Johnson's so good in the box. He can almost be your second linebacker at times. In a nickel situation. I think it's a challenge that Dennis Allen will accept. It's a good problem to have. We've talked about, do you explore Kyler Gordon at outside corner some? I think one thing you could do too is maybe you just ease Kyler back. It's like, hey, you just have a part-time role at first. You've struggled to stay healthy. A, you got to earn playing time as you come back, and B, we're not going to overdo it. So maybe that's part of the plan. We'll see what it all looks like, but I am not looking to take C.J. Gardner-Johnson off the field very much, if at all. Sports for Life, should we get DJ involved more, I think is what you're trying to say there. Yeah, you'd like to, but can you catch the ball? I mean, I'm not trying to be critical, but Caleb Williams throws a seed over the middle of the field before he comes out of his break, and it hits him right on the 2, and he drops the ball. It's like, I don't know, man. You're making $28 million per year. I need you to catch that football. He almost dropped the one earlier in the game over the field. I'll say this. Caleb Williams on that intermediate game over the middle, I don't watch every single quarterback every week. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find many quarterbacks who throws that ball better. That, 12 to 25-yard deep in over the middle of the field, on time, on target, with velocity. Like, I think that's his best throw, clearly. And Luther Burden dropped one. DJ Moore dropped one. Like, need these guys to catch the ball. You're not going to catch every ball, I understand. I would like my $28 million receiver to catch the football, please. If you are a die-hard Bears fan, we're the channel for you. We're almost at 140,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, support the show. We are here every day bringing you guys Bears content. All right, poor connection. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Any news on Frazier? By the way, my friends call me PK. All right, PK, appreciate it. Well, he's out for the year. Zoff Frazier, I assume that's who you're talking. Sorry, Zay Frazier. I assume that's who you're talking about. They declared him out for the year at the end of training camp, so he's not in the mix. I think he's a guy you throw into the mix in the offseason, and he'll probably have to fight for a roster spot, realistically. So, that's where that situation stands. All right, Cheeks, my boy. We know the offense is good, but with the entire secondary healthy, how do you rank our defense? Are they a playoff defense? I do think it's an above-average defense if everybody is healthy and playing up to their standard. Like if Jalen Johnson is at least 80 to 85% of what he normally is, that's your best outside corner, clearly. If good Tyreek Stevenson is playing, that's a solid CB2. If Kevin Byard's playing well, which he has been most of the season, that's a really good safety. If you get good version of Jaquan Brisker, that's a solid box safety. If the combination of C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Kyler Gordon, you feel good about them as roamers and nickels. I do think it's a playoff defense. I don't think it's an elite one because to me, to have an elite defense, you have to have at least an above-average pass rush. The Bears do not have that. Like at best, you're hoping for average. I would call it below average from just your 4-down linemen consistently winning one-on-ones. Now, Dennis Allen has dialed up some timely pressures. That has led to some success and some sacks and some QB hits, but they just do not win their one-on-ones consistently. So I don't think you can be elite, but you can be top 15, top 12 if your secondary and linebacker core is fully healthy. I think there's enough talent in your back seven. Predict the score. Bears, Steelers, who you got? What's the final score going to be? Let me know down in the chat. My early inkling is Bears in a tight one. I know that's a real bold statement. That's like every game. But, as we're filming this, we don't know Aaron Rodgers' situation. So, obviously, want to get more clarity there. All right, Mose, at what point do we start talking about a Caleb extension? Well, he's not even eligible until the end of next year. So, I don't think we start talking about it until probably midway through next season. That would probably be the earliest time you would even start having those conversations. But I think he's taking good steps. If he continues to progress like he has this year through the end of the season, and then he takes the equal amount of steps he took this year next year, I think you're probably entering that territory where you'd be comfortable with an extension. We're not there yet, but we're also in year 2. You couldn't give him one right now. So, I think you're probably 12 months early here, Maze. Jacob Stark, what grade would you give Ben Johnson? I mean, all things considered, it's an A+. Have there been a handful of situational play calls I haven't loved? Yeah, but that's calling plays in the NFL. You're sometimes you're going to get too cute. Sometimes the defense is going to have the answer. Sometimes your guys just aren't going to execute. That's part of it. I mean, guys, the Bears are 5-1 in one-score games. They never won one-score games under Matt Eberflus. The Bears lead the NFL in explosive plays. Those two things, that's result of Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson proving he can be a good head coach in this league, talking about winning these tight games. I think a lot of that is building belief, culture, trust from players to coaching staff and vice versa. And the second part of that is Ben, the play caller. Number 1 in explosives, the Chicago Bears. We've never had good offense. So, I don't know how it could be anything less than an A or an A+. You're in first place in mid-November. It's remarkable what this guy has done overnight. He's got a real shot at winning Coach of the Year. This team wins 12 games. I mean, he's going to have a very strong argument. All right, that is it for our mailbag. If you have more questions, DMs are open at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram. By the way, the new Twitter chat thing, kind of weird, still figuring it out. I think they've kind of worked through the kinks, but for a couple days there, it was kind of wonky. But DMs are open at HGramNFL. Hit me up if you got more Bears questions.